Hello, my name is Lynette Jalivay, and I am interviewing Melvin Anderson.
Yes.
And today's date is October the 12th, 2020, and I'm at the Sparta Public Library in Sparta, Illinois. Melvin, where were you when you were born?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
4420 Cold Creek. I didn't put that down.
Yeah.
Where I was born at, we wouldn't allowed to go to the hospital on those days. We had at home.
Okay, okay. Who are your parents? Who were your parents, and what was their occupation?
My daddy, he worked in medicine factory, and my mother, Anna Mae Anderson, Smith, brother, and she just housewife.
Okay. Who are your siblings? And what are their names and their gender, male or female?
My brother, he just died, Frank Anderson, he was the oldest. And me, Melvin, I'm the second oldest. Marianne was the third oldest. Lily was the fourth oldest. And get down to Bessie, Sarah, Beanie, and that's it.
Do you have a brother named Joe?
And Joe, yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
I kind of remember Joe.
Yeah, he was Anderson, yeah.
Okay. Did any of them serve in the military?
My oldest brother, Frank, he was in the Seabees.
What were you doing before you joined the service?
High school,
High school? Okay. In what year did you join the service?
1946,
1946. And how long did you serve?
3 years.
3 years. Where were you living when you joined the service?
903 East Morton Street, Sparta.
Sparta. In which branch of the military did you serve?
Air Force.
Air Force. Okay. Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I enlisted.
Enlisted. Why did you choose that branch?
Well, the guy was at high school, and he talked to all of us, and there, I think all 22 of us enlisted in Air Force.
Okay. What happened when you departed for training camp and during the early days of your training?
Well, my grandmother, Mama, you knew her, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, she come seen us off on the train. We went to Shepherdfield, Texas.
Okay. Do you recall your instructors?
No, because they picked some out of the group to help most of the instructors.
So you don't know, you can't tell me anything that what they were like?
Uh,
Okay, okay. What did you think of basic training?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. It's good for a young man. And I went through the whole basic. My brother-in-law, Bobby St. James, do you know him?
I did.
Yeah, well, he was in there with me, but they put him out because he was too young.
Oh, wow.
But he fell out, and they had to haul him around in their own class.
Oh, my God. What was the worst part of boot camp?
Walking 9 miles, 40 pounds.
Ooh,
In the sand.
insane. Oh, my. Did you receive any specialized training?
No, when I got out, I was on the 5th caliber machine gun. They changed what we call the MOS,
Mm-hmm.
and put me on the 5th caliber machine gun.
Okay. How did you adapt to military life, including the physical regimen, barracks, food, and the social life?
I loved it. I mean, I was just young and crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and so I adopted it pretty good.
What did you like about it?
Well, it was okay. After you do training in the evening, you play your sports and go in patient and go.
What about the food?
Well, the food I had was pretty good.
Was it? Okay. Did you enjoy the barracks also?
Yeah, the barracks and I was nice.
So you want to tell me a little bit about the barracks?
Well, most places we went, we had mosquito nets. And we had to put them down over our bed, tuck them in, keep mosquitoes from getting us. But the barracks, we had to keep it clean all the time. And you couldn't, you had to keep everything locked up, but it's still.
How many people were in your barrack?
Oh, I'd say about 60.
60. Where did you serve?
Well, I served in Shepherdfield, Texas, where I took basic. And they shipped me up to Scott Air Base. And then after Scott Air Base, they sent me to Lauriefield, Denver, Colorado. And after Denver, Colorado, they shipped me to California. And that's when I went overseas. When I come back from overseas, they shipped me to it was Compton, California. And after I left Compton, they shipped me back to Scott Air Base. And after I left Scott Air Base, I got discharged in Florida.
Florida.
So,
It says on here, if you served abroad, which you just told me you did, what are some memories of that experience? And what was your first impression?
it wasn't bad. I mean, I don't know if I put it down now, but Hawaii was my first place. And but that was right after Pearl Harbor. I mean, well, it was a little bit after, but we went through the harbor. You could see the boats in the water sunk by the Japanese sunk the water. And after that, they shipped to Yokohama, Japan. And to see, well then, to see all black people walking together, the Japanese was kind of shocked. They were surprised to see us. But they treated us nice over there. But Yokohama was a nice place.
What kind of friendships did you form while serving, and with whom?
Let's see. Now Jack Watson, he comes to see me all the time. He was just in the bomb group, and he come over. And his boy from Ducorn, Charles Coleman, I think was his name. Me and him was buddies. And Bobby, my brother-in-law, he ended up being my brother-in-law. He got discharged, but he was too young to go in, so they kicked him out.
Okay. How did you stay in touch with family and friends back home?
We made phone calls and wrote letters all the time.
Okay.
There's a couple girls in my class that they used to write me all the time. And so that's where we stay in touch with each other through letters. Yeah.
Okay. What did you do for recreation or when you were off duty?
Well, we played football and basketball, and if we didn't go in town, last time we went in town and bowled a lot, but we kept busy.
Okay.
We're mostly sports and stuff like that.
Okay, that's good. What was your most memorable experience while serving?
Well, my most memorable experience when I wasn't in the mess hall that day. They was in there eating, and a Japanese soldier set the mess hall fire. And they decided you lit up. So he jumped outside. The guy jumped on him. I don't know whether they killed him or not, but they beat him pretty bad.
Oh my. So nobody knew he was in there when he said
Well,
it.
he'd been around there and he worked in the mess hall. But he had been planning that for a long time.
Oh wow.
And the mess hall, it was full. The guys was eating, and he set it afire and jumped out through the side. So the guy jumped out and got him.
So did any of the soldiers there get
Nobody
hurt?
got hurt, but him. We never seen him no more after that.
What did you think of the people you served with?
Almost, some of them you could trust and some of them you couldn't. But most of them pretty nice people.
Okay. What was the highest rank you ever achieved?
T5.
Okay. You want to tell us what that is?
Well, when I achieved it, I was supposed to go to sergeant. I was a corporal. Supposed to go to sergeant, and then they changed the name of the ranks around. T5, the name was just the same as a sergeant.
Okay. Okay. How old were you when you joined?
18.
18. What was your most frightening experience?
I was too scared to be frightened. I mean, I was too. I never was frightened. Well, coming back on the boat, I got sick, seasick. That's all. Out of about 60 days on the water, I got seasick right before I got into San Francisco. And that's the worst I ever felt.
Mm, okay. What was your most interesting experience?
I liked Hawaii.
Okay.
It was nice.
What did you like about it?
It was pretty. It really wasn't tore up like you think it was. The harbor was tore up, but the rest of it pretty.
Okay. What was your most exhausting experience?
Well, when there's trainers on that 50 caliber machine gun, there was 3 on it. 1 carried the ammunition, 2 men carried the barrel. But and you're supposed to be always on the run, and there's trainers, so when everybody else leave out, you left behind. Otherwise, you may not get out.
Mm. Okay, what was your most exciting experience?
On 50 caliber machine gun.
Okay. So you were excited to
Yeah.
actually be on that. Okay. Was there any part of your job that you were especially good at?
I was a good auto mechanic,
Good
truck
auto.
mechanic, whatever.
Okay. Was there any part of your job that you especially enjoyed?
Working on trucks.
Okay. So what type of trucks were you working on?
Well, we had Diamond T, we had Chevrolet big trucks, we had Jeeps, and all different kind of vehicles.
Okay. What part of your job did you least enjoy?
Walking.
Walking? Okay.
But because usually when you walk, you have a pack on.
Okay.
So,
Pretty heavy. Huh?
pretty heavy.
Okay. Did you ever meet any POWs?
Yeah, Chicago.
You want to expound on that a little bit?
In Chicago, they had the service. They worked in mess hall up there, and they had the service up there. We met a bunch of them, and they called us crazy. We were German prison, German people, and lots of them stayed over here and got jobs over here after war.
What was the most impressive place that you saw?
Oh, I guess Japan was impressive for me, and I was always wanting to see where to drop the atomic bomb, but they wouldn't take us out that far.
Mm.
We got to go around through Yokohama and see things going out there.
So, with it being your most impressive, what impressed you the most about Japan?
Oh, there's lots of like San Francisco and different places like that. It was modernized.
Okay. Did you have any contact with civilians, and how did they treat you?
They treat you nice.
Okay. Do you have any funny moments you want to tell us about?
These moments is it's not funny, but our barracks got robbed when I was in there.
Oh, wow.
And they stole money out of everybody's bag but mine. And guys, they let me keep the money for them. And so they searched mine, they found all that money in there, but the guys say, well, he's keeping our money for us, so they never said nothing to me. So, but they, I think they, if I remember right, they caught the guys who stole the money.
Oh. Was it some of your own people or?
Yeah, yeah, you could lay nothing down
Oh, wow.
in the barracks.
So how happened that they stole out of everyone else's bag with yours? Did you have yours secured some kind of way that?
No, mine wasn't even locked.
Guess it just wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet or see anyone famous? Did you ever attend a USO show?
I attended the show though, I guess. I guess I did have a USO show.
Okay.
Every once in a while they had a USO show.
Okay. Did you regularly write to anyone and receive mail when you were overseas?
Yeah. Margaret didn't write me. She wasn't a writer. We wasn't married then. But some of the girls in my class, they wrote me all the time.
Okay. Did you have any pictures of yourself while you were serving?
Yeah.
Okay. You may want to see those sometime.
Yeah, they on my refrigerator.
What was your first job after discharge?
Comic book.
Comic book? Okay.
I worked there for 25 years.
It's here in Sparta, right? What organizations have you belonged to?
I belong to American Legion. I belong to American Legion. VA, I know I belong to that. And I can't think of all of it. Well, PTA meetings, I've been to one or two of them since I've been unions. I was Secretary of Treasury Union at County for 12 years.
Okay.
Other than that, ain't been too many.
Okay. What are your hobbies?
Well, I like going to church. I like sleeping.
Both of those are good hobbies.
Yeah. And I ride around a lot.
I was just going to ask you, do you still ride around?
Yeah, I ride
So
around almost every day.
Well, that's good. That's good. You keep doing that.
You go out to graveyard. Well, all the stones and stuff for Margaret, we make sure all the stuff is there, and it's not there yet.
Oh, okay.
The flower pot's not there yet.
Why did you join the special forces?
Well, the guy at high school, he knew how, he talked us into it, and they give us enough credits to get our diplomas, to graduate from high school, and that's something that entices you to go.
Okay.
And so it was 22 of us joined.
So they told you that you will get so many high school credits
Yeah.
if you join.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And by me going to school in the Army, well, I got my credits, and I come back and I graduated. My mother was
So
in line.
you went to the military before you graduated out of high school, then you came back and graduated from high school?
And my mother's in line going to get my diploma, and she's kind of disappointed to see me, but I had to walk.
Ah, oh my
She
God.
was tickled to see me, but still she was
Right. What kind of special training did you receive?
Well, school in Denver, Colorado, Lori Field, mechanic school there, and I had I was clerk, file clerk at Scott Air Base, and they trained us on guns, so that's about it.
That's pretty good training.
Mm-hmm.
What kinds of missions do you do, or did you do? I'm sorry.
Oh, we done mostly guard duty. And that's about the biggest thing, yeah.
Okay. As a member of the Special Forces, did you ever see combat? You didn't, okay. Where were you deployed?
Okinawa.
What were your duties?
Motor pool mechanics, and just anything pertaining to the vehicles we done it.
Okay. Was there a chance that you could see combat?
Oh, yeah. Well, they did. When I was in there, everything really segregated then. We had to turn our guns in at night if we wasn't on duty. So if we seen combat, we just got shot up. we had one sergeant get killed. Sergeant McPeak, it was his name. He ran into the wrong thing and they shot him.
So you while you were in the service, so you trained for combat, but you just never actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to know the sound of all. They put us in a dark place, and then they had the sounds of vehicles, planes, and all that. We would identify each one of them.
Did you personally know anyone that was in combat?
Jack Watson, about one I know around here. And a couple of, we had one kid get killed in a helicopter over in the Philippines. That's about it.
Did you ever get to fly?
No, I go private citizen. I flew back for a trip.
Right, while you were in the military, while you were in the Air Force?
Yeah.
Okay. And was your job dangerous?
No.
It wasn't. Okay. Where were you when your period of service was up?
Well, when my service was up, it's a funny thing about it. I was stationed right here at Sparta Air Base. So they shipped me all the way to MacDill Air Base in Florida and paid me mileage to come back.
So how long did you stay in Florida?
About 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
I went down there to visit here several years ago, and you couldn't even see the airbase. They had it camouflaged, so you had to get special permission to go in there. But you couldn't even see it level on the ground. They had it camouflaged. So.
And how did you return home? How did you return?
I come back by train.
By train?
From MacDill Air Base, Florida.
Okay. How were you received by your family and the community when you came back?
Oh, they're glad to see me back. Glad to see me get a job.
Yeah. What were some of their reactions?
Well, back in those days, my mother, well, we were poor people. And she was, all my money I had, I just put it up in the shiffer rope drawer. Well, I was married then, and Margaret and my mother could go get it anytime they get ready. But they're glad to see me.
How did you readjust to civilian life?
Got me a job.
So did you ever think back on during the time that you were in the military after you were out?
No, I ran across some people in St. Louis that I was in service with. And I really never just thought more about it.
What was the biggest surprise about the civilian workplace? Especially with you being young as you were.
Well, in Sparta, it wasn't no surprise because I had to get the mayor to help me get a job. And I always voted Republican, and they wouldn't help us. The black guys, they wouldn't help us get a job. But we had to get Brother Burns, and Brother Burns had to go down to comic book to help me get a job. So that's how we got.
So there was more than, there was other ones with you when the time you were applying?
Yeah, me and Mr. Rao, and there was 4 of us.
Have you remained in contact or reunited with fellow veterans? So Jack Watson was the only one that
Watson
you...
the only one.
Okay.
I didn't know he was in nursing home in Chester.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Okay. Are you a member of any veterans organizations?
American Legion.
American Legion. So why did you join it?
I don't know, they come around and ask me to join, so.
Were there any benefits in it for you when you joined?
No, they'll give you a plaque to put on your grave, that's all I know.
Oh, okay.
But, they send you all kind of literature and stuff like that.
Okay. Besides working at the comic book, you want to tell me some other things you've done
I
since
I worked at the power plant for 19 years.
For 19 years? Okay. What did you do there?
Mechanic.
And so what, as a mechanic, what were your
Worked on
responsibilities?
the blowers and all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Diesel motors. It was lots different than comic book.
How would you compare the two jobs?
The power plant more money. Way more money. And there really was no comparison anyway.
How many years did you work at the comic book?
26 years.
26. And you retired from the comic book and then went to...
Yeah, I quit. I was the first one to draw a pencil from the comic book.
Okay.
Me and Irene Allen, we both draw at the same time.
Okay. Okay. So, you want to tell us a little bit about your mechanic duties at the power plant?
Well, we worked on everything there. Blowers, motor, trucks, motors, and stop leaks and different things. Anything need to be fixed there, we fixed it.
So what were the blowers? What did they do? What did the blowers do?
Keep motors cool, turbines cool, and all that stuff.
Okay. Okay.
I never did work in coal yard there. So.
Never did. How did your service experience affect your life?
Well, the 3 years I was in there, I grew up a lot. And I got married while I was in the service too, so.
Okay.
That's the only way it affected me.
And you were 18, you say, when you started? So how old were you when you married?
18.
18, okay, so you...
I went in 46 and I got married in 46.
Okay. So you must have came home, did you come home like on leave?
Yeah, I come home. They let me come home right before I got on the boat to go overseas.
Okay.
And I got married December 14th.
Okay.
And about the 20th, I was overseas already.
So
I was on the boat overseas.
So how long were you gone before you got back to your wife?
2 years.
2 years. Okay.
I was married 2 days and left. I was gone 2 years.
Wow.
But she'd get my check.
How long were you married?
I married, Charlotte said I was married 73 years.
73 years. That's a long time. What key knowledge, skills, abilities, and experiences that you learned from military service would you say are the most valuable?
Well, you learn to respect people. And I don't know, it's just lots of things you, and some people you can't trust, I know that. But other than that, I enjoyed it anyway. So.
Is it something that you would encourage young people to do now, or people to join the military now?
Well, I'd encourage them to join the reserves, but just straight out military. If they didn't have to do it, don't do it.
Okay. How has your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
I don't want to go to war.
You want to go to war?
I'm not no fighter.
not your nature. So did you enjoyed being in the military?
Yeah, I
but you
enjoyed being
just,
in the military.
okay. So you working with on the mechanics side of it.
It taught me a lot.
So did you feel that had any impact on you on your work at when you worked at the power plant?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If I didn't have the paper, certificates, what school and everything, I wouldn't have got the job at the power plant.
Okay. What message would you like to leave for future generations who will view this interview?
I learn to respect people. One thing. That's one thing. That's one thing you learn in service. Respect. And just do what you're supposed to do. Period.
Okay, is there anything you feel we haven't discussed that you would like to add to the interview? Well, I would like to thank you for taking the time out to let us interview you, and thank you so much for your service that you did in the military.
Well, I've been looking forward to it, but I just didn't do it.
That's okay. You'll get to see it now.
Okay.
And we thank you for it.